All right, so in the previous video, I spoke about how the Xbox platform is now allowing their exclusives to now come to other consoles, right? And I talked about how Xbox is just going to permeate the market and be everywhere. They already have their Play Anywhere initiative where everything's an Xbox. That ad, I don't know if you remember that ad, where you're going to be able to get Xbox on anything. You can already get it on your phone. You can get it on your TV. If you have the Samsung Smart Hub TV like I have, you can get it on there. You can get it on your computer with the PC Game Pass. You can get it's all over the place. It's all over the place. So what I think moving forward is going to further expand into other consoles. We've heard news in the previous years about Phil Spencer trying to build a relationship with Nintendo, and I think eventually, like maybe even on the Switch too, who knows? You'll see that Xbox app and you'll be able to play your favorite Xbox games wherever you go. Same thing with PlayStation, because now you see all of these PlayStation games going over all of these Xbox games going over to the PlayStation console. So I think with this new shift in focus that Xbox has, there still will be consoles. There still will be consoles, but the main focus is just going to be on the platform. Xbox as a platform rather than Xbox as a console. I got a few articles here I want to go through, and it's really interesting really interesting how Phil Spencer is talking about the future of Xbox. So let's get into it. So I know most people will probably be worried about, like, well, what if I've been a long time Xbox fan and I don't have, what am I going to do with my games? What about my games? So Phil Spencer says that Xbox fans need not to be concerned about their digital libraries. So he said in an interview with Xbox Era, he says that gatekeeping games doesn't really benefit people. And we've seen games like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves arrive on the opposing platform, and they sold well. They sold well too. Remember in the last video I told y'all 64% of the PlayStation sales were from Microsoft games. You know, Grounded and mostly Call of Duty, obviously, because with the purchase. But like, there's a lot of games. Any game that goes over, people are gonna play it. You know, so it says that Spencer also said that Xbox's history of showing respect for other people's libraries with features like backwards compatibility and Play Anywhere shows that they are respecting your libraries. You're going to be able to keep your old games from back in the day. Xbox is still a platform. Just because they're moving away from console, like trying to sell the best console, doesn't mean that doesn't mean they're gonna move away from providing one of the best services to play games. So that's not something I would worry about if you're an Xbox player and you're sitting there thinking, well, damn, what are they going to do? What am I going to do? Are they going to take away my games? No, they won't take away the game. They just put out just last year the digital Xbox Series X, so they're just giving people more options to play. There's been talk about a handheld as well, so they're just giving people more options to play. Your games are not going anywhere. I wouldn't worry too much about that. So as far as how they're promoting it, I know some people had complaints about how Microsoft was showing other companies logos. Like, I don't know if y'all remember one of the last showcases that they put out. They had announced that Indiana Jones is coming to PS5 as well. Like, they announced a release date and that is coming to PS5. So I guarantee you that'll be another game that that sells on the PlayStation as well. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but I guarantee you that'll be another game that goes ahead and makes big sales on that platform. So I think the most important thing here, in my opinion, would be transparency. Like, let us know what's coming, and I think Phil Spencer has a idea of that. So while a lot of y'all console war people will think that they're bowing out and they're quitting the industry, that's not what's happening. They're just shifting their focus off of the console. So here's a quote from Phil regarding that transparency. He said, "And I know it's not what everyone else is doing, but I just believe games should be the thing that's at the forefront. Maybe it's because of how I grew up in this industry. I came from building games, but I think the games are the things that I see growing in their strength and what we're doing, and it's because more people and play. So yeah, I'm just trying to be open and transparent with people. That makes sense. So they're gonna keep showing the other consoles. I love when they do that because that's how we know what games are going to be available on other platforms. I watched the PlayStation one the other day, and I know all of those games probably weren't going to be exclusive to PlayStation. Some of those games are going to come to PC, and some of those games are probably going to be on Xbox. So seeing that transparency from Xbox was, refreshing. It was very refreshing to see that because I want to know what options I have. Me being a person that has all three consoles, I want to know, like, okay, maybe this game I might feel like playing it on Xbox. I got more friends on there. Maybe this game I feel like playing it on PlayStation just because I'm used to that series being on PlayStation. So I would like to know what consoles these new games are coming out on at the beginning. At the beginning. I know it might seem counterproductive to put another company's logo on there, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, bro. Console wars is dead. I keep saying it in these videos. The console wars are dead, bro. And another thing I wanted to touch on, last thing I wanted to touch on was Phil Spencer talking about the comparisons that Xbox has gotten to Sega. So as you know, Sega used to make consoles, the Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, but in the 90s and the 2000s, it kind of got overpowered by its competition, and a great system like the Dreamcast was kind of too ahead of its time and also kind of too little, too late. We were already moving on to the next era, and something like the Dreamcast helped spark what ended up being Xbox anyway, if you didn't know that. Sega helped Microsoft develop the initial Xbox, so you could say Xbox is like a spiritual successor to Sega. So I'm not surprised that they're moving like them, but the difference between that is that Sega is largely a game company, obviously. So they're gonna take their franchises and they're gonna re-release certain games. If I don't know if you've been looking at these showcases, but they're putting out different games and they're re-releasing certain strategies. I know was it the Sony one? There was like a Sony State of Play or some showcase or Xbox showcase where they said, okay, these games are coming. And we're announcing them. We're working on these titles, these classic titles. We're going to bring them back. We're going to expand them and things of that nature. That's what they're doing, and that's awesome. But I think the difference between them and Xbox is not only do they have the franchises and they have the popular franchises that people like to play, they have a platform for it. They have the Xbox Game Pass system. Or the PC Game Pass. Sega doesn't have like a legacy system where you can play all of their games. So that's where Xbox will kind of set itself apart from those comparisons. I just think it was interesting, this article here that I'm looking at, where Phil Spencer said, and I don't want to then look at that and say, well, there's no way we should be able to build a business here. Find fans for our franchises there. I'm not going to move them all over the Xbox anymore. People were so invested in where their games are. Let's just allow people to play. And yes, the 70% that we make on games on other platforms is helping us being able to build great portfolios like we showed at Dev Direct, and I hope this will continue to show throughout the rest of the year. It makes sense because if you look at it from a business standpoint, we know that the Xbox is sold at a loss. They put so much resources into it, so much power into it. Up until the PS5 Pro came out, it was the most powerful home system out. So it just makes sense to kind of move on from that and focus more so on the games because that's where you make your money. They made the money back on the Xboxes through Game Pass and the controllers and the games and things of that nature. So it would make sense, obviously, to just move on from that. Even though they did recently release that digital Xbox Series X, which they should have been did, in my opinion. When you release the Series S, you should have released the digital Series X, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's where Microsoft will set itself apart from that Sega comparison that they're getting. But I just wanted to quickly rant on those two topics and just all keep reminding y'all that the console wars is over. It's been over, and we need to move on from it. And we need to accept the fact that games are going to be widely available across multiple platforms, even the big blockbuster ones. You got Forza coming to PlayStation. Halo there's rumors of Halo and Gears, but until I see it, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much on that. But Xbox is going to become, like I said, Xbox, that's probably going to be the title of this video. Xbox is going to become the Windows of gaming. Yeah, that's how we gonna do it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments, all right? So you already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out.